right. What's up, YouTube? Habitat back here with video 2 of first impressions of the RELOOP Buddy. It's been interesting playing around with it. We got a couple questions we're going to answer about it, and mainly, who is this thing for? Let's get into that first, I guess. This is for, number one, someone that uses algorithm software. Number two, someone that wants a portable setup. And I think number three is someone that wants to use the neural mix. I guess I would say I'm all three of those. As I said in the first video, I'm looking forward to kind of playing with this in the studio, also taking this to small gigs, using this as a practice module. Upon initial setup, I couldn't get the sound to come out of the headphones. Once I did my software update, it seemed to work. I don't know if that was the issue. The second thing was, it is kind of weird. I know Phil on Digital DJ Tips mentioned this as well, that the ISO port didn't seem to work, and the PC port was the one that he had to use to hook it up to the iPad. And this is why I figured out what's going on. If you're using iOS with this switch to iOS, and you're using this USB on the side, you don't need the camera connection kit. You go straight Lightning cable into or USB-C, whatever you have, into this side port here. It also will work with the USB-B, I think it is, or A, I'm not sure, I can never remember, but the bigger square USB. That it also works that way, plugged in to the camera connection kit, and it will work with the hub. But if you want to use it with the hub, you have to use it on the PC setting. You have to have your square USB plugged into your USB hub, your USB hub into your camera connection kit, and your camera connection kit plugged into your iPad. So if that makes sense for those of you following me, that's the way you have to do it. Otherwise, you can just hook in straight Lightning to this port, but then the square USB becomes your power supply. So you have to have that into some sort of power dongle or power outlet or USB power pack. Anyway, everything works pretty well. I mean, these are really responsive. These are really responsive. I'm sorry. I had this hooked up. Now, the other thing I wanted to do too, I wanted to see with the USB hub if I could get other devices hooked into it, and you can, which is nice. But like I said, you have to put it on the PC setting. So this is on the PC setting, and I have the this launch pad hooked into the USB hub as well. So everything's kind of running together. I have this mapped out so we can control the loop functions on this iPad. And you also might ask, why do I have it hooked up kind of upright position? Well, I don't know. I had it flat on the table. It was frustrating me a little bit when I was scratching. It was moving because it's really light. And the main issue, though, I was having trouble adjusting the headphones. Putting my hands in there, and there's really not a lot of room between where you have it on the table and this knob. That's one thing I do not like about this thing, using this off the bat, is I don't like this whole cluster over here. I don't know why they had to put all these wires next to these knobs. These knobs are really small. If you're going to have wires that stick out this far from the side of this unit, you might as well make the knobs bigger and more spread apart. They could have made this whole thing, should have put the headphone jack down here. They should have put the three knobs larger in the middle and more spread out, and then had the power cable up here. And to be completely honest with you, I would like to see everything on one side, because why do I say that? Well, because when you come into a DJ booth or you come into a studio setup, 9 times out of 10, you're going to have you want to put other gear next to it. So it kind of limits what you can do. You can't put a piece of kit next to this on the side because there's USBs. You can't put a piece of kit on this side because you have all the wires. I know, it would be nice if it was just traditional and it would be out the back. But you know, probably had something to do with this stand hub or built-in stand that they kind of put in here. So the only place you can really put stuff is the bottom. I mean, that's why I figured I'd put this up on a little stand and put the iPad on the stand above it, and then I could put stuff below it. It's a little workaround. I don't know how I'm going to be using this thing practically, but I mean, like I said, I don't really have any other option. I can't really put this thing to the side. I can now that it's up here and the wires are out of the way. I could put something down here or something kind of next to it. But you know, it kind of limits what you're going to do with it, because if you're unplugging it or plugging it, especially on this side, I mean, if you're going to be having to be sticking your hand in here and fiddling with these knobs for the headphones, you got to have whatever you have next to it like way over here so you can get your hand in there. I don't like that. I think that should if they ever make a 2, or you know, a Buddy 2, that should be reconfigured, or they should just do like a traditional setup with the stuff in the back. That's just my opinion. I don't want this video to go too long, but you know, like I said, I'm going to do another video that does the functionality. But this was just kind of an initial setup video, getting it started. I did have a little bit of trouble, like I said, but it seems to be working fine. The sound quality sounds real good. There's some couple other things that you know, are interesting. Like you only have a 2-band EQ in the filter knob. I did some remapping around that, so I'll show you a way that I got around that. Because you can use the filter cut if you turn it slightly as a bass, you know, to cut the bass out. And I mapped this as a MIDI. So this is high, mid, and then if I want to drop a little bass out. Because let's be honest, you know, us veteran DJs, I mean, how many times do you turn bass up past 12 o'clock? You know, barely, never, unless there's something wrong with the track. You know, with the bass, you're usually dropping it out. So what I did was, you know, I mapped this as a shift hit. That kills my bass on my EQ. And I can operate, like, just drop bass completely out by doing a quick shift and encoder. And like I said, I'm just using the filter just to take the bass out if I need to take the bass out a little bit. Because that makes more, I mean, I don't know. Me, personally, I mix more turning this mid-range up and down than I do the bass up and down. I mean, I just turn the bass down. You know, like I said, barely ever turning the bass up. So, I don't know. That's just one more thing. You know, another good point would be, this would be great if these were also push encoders, because that would give an extra functionality with the shift button, and also just functionality in general with the push button. But they're not. The only thing that's a push encoder is this and this and this. But overall, the design's nice. Why am I so excited about this? Because it's like a miniaturization of a professional controller. It's really funny. It's a miniature version of like something like, you know, the DJ. The SX or the Denon, like MC 7000 that I have. It's kind of just like a miniature version. But overall, yeah, like I said, it's pretty good. These are not like, you know, scratch faders where you're not gonna be doing a lot of fader mixing with the fader scratching with this. But they're really nice as far as the resistance of the mixing. But that's about it. That's all I want to go over for right now. Yeah, we're going to go through the functionality on this, and if there's any questions or anybody wants me to touch on anything specific, let me know in the comments. Hey guys, thanks again, and have a good night, and see you in the next one. Peace.